Now we have ransom note. Given two strings, ransom note and magazine, return true if ransom note can be constructed by using the letters from magazine and false otherwise. This seems fairly straightforward. Each letter in magazine can only be used once in ransom note. So you can't create A if the magazine only has B. You can't create AA if your magazine only has A and B, but you can create AA if your magazine has AAB. Okay. This is 383. So it goes here, pub mod. There we go. Code action 1. Jump to problem. And let's just grab this whole thing. All right, so can we construct a ransom note from the entries in magazine? And so we need to count up the letters in the ransom note and then subtract those from letters in magazine. What are our constraints here? Ransom note length and magazine length are going to be between 1 and 10,000. Ransom note and magazine consist of lowercase English letters. Okay. So let's do false and write a test case. So assert bang can construct. Oh, solution can construct A, two-string, B, two-string. And that's false. There. Struct. Okay. So that test case passes. Let's write the other failing test case, ex2. Solution. Let's just copy paste. This is AA, and this is going to be AB, and that should pass. And then finally we have our last test case, which is going to break the bank. So can construct AA from AAB, and that's going to fail. Okay, good. I guess we could just run through the chars in either in ransom note or in magazine, and then subtract the ones as we find them in the ransom note. Let's do this, magazine, so we can see what characters are available. And we can say HM, let HM as a hash map new. Entry ch or insert 0 plus equals 1. Right, that counts up all the letters for each letter. And then in ransom note chars, what do we need to do? We need to subtract it, but if it's already 0 or doesn't exist, then we return false. Can we do this? Let mute E is equal to HM entry ch or insert 0. And that way we can just say if E equals 0, return false. So it'll insert the 0, but that'll just be, otherwise we want to, E, what type is E? E is a reference So we need to do that, and then we want to say star e minus equals 1. And then if that all succeeds, we're done. Right? Remove this mute. Remove the mute. But I want to mutate it. Oh, I see. It's a reference to a mutable I32. So when we star it like that, we can mutate it. I got it. You know what I haven't done is Clippy. I should do Clippy. So that passes all three of our examples. Let's see if we can throw it in here. Man, I'm ripping through these. That worked. Yeah, I guess if you kind of have a handle on what the solution should be, then stickers to spell word. All right. That took a while, 13 milliseconds. That was one of the longer ones. All right, that one's done. Not bad. Problem 383, ransom note. Done. Nick Vorsa says, isn't it better to reverse the choice of the map? Kafka says, or there was a load on the server. Yeah, that could be. Let me try to understand what Nick Vorsa is getting at. 383. Reverse the choice of the map. Do you mean having the count as the key and the character as the value? Oh, magazine size is bigger than the ransom note. So I see. So that would go faster if we wanted to do it the other way around. We can't just flip it around though, it looks like. Oh. So if we put the ransom note in there and then subtract out the characters from the magazine. Oh, this is assuming all the characters in the magazine exist. Yeah. How would we do it that way? If we insert all the ransom note entries, I think in this example, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because they're both probably just random strings that are really long. If we wanted to do it the other way, how would we do it the other way? So if we put all the ransom note in here, we would then loop through the magazine until ransom note was empty. Or ransom note had all zeros, right? So that I think that would be a harder way to do it. Let's see. Right, if we did this as a ransom note, and now we'd go through for ch in magazine chars. If ransom note contained the entry that we're on, then we can remove it from the ransom note, right? Or we could decrement it. But then we would want to remove it if it hit 0. If let, oh, then we need the entry, the entry API, right? We want to say if let entry of e equals hm dot entry ch else, right? So if we found an e, oh, that doesn't work. What do I need to do differently? Let's find out. What does the compiler tell me? Oh, it has to be one of the options. Okay, occupied. So now that's an occupied entry. Can I say star e minus equals 1? and we have to check. We have to say if is it e.val equals 0, then we've used up all the entries in the ransom note, so we don't care. So if it's greater than 0, then we want to say e val minus equals 1. I don't know what the API is here off the top of my head. Let's take a look at the entry API real quick here. Rust entry occupied. There's a get mute, there's a key. That's a reference to the key of this entry. And get just gets the reference to the value of the entry. Got it. So get. Can I do that? Expected reference found integer. So here. Cannot assign get mute. That's what get mute is for. Help consider changing this to be mutable. Okay. Kafka says you need get mute to mutate. Yep. Okay. So if it's greater than when we subtract 1, if we don't find it, if we haven't found it, and we don't care, right? Because it's not in the ransom note. So now we have to look at every entry and determine whether or not all the entries. So we could say hm.iter keys or iter values. Is that a I'm trying to get to the hash map thing. There. Is there iter values? Iter mute. Iter into values. There we go. Into values. Fold 0. AB. A plus B. Oh, can we do iter values just sum? Can we do that? Can't infer type, so we can just do I32. Yeah, okay. So this is the opposite way of storing all the ransom note entries first and then just seeing if they're in the magazine and deleting, subtracting. I don't know which way is better. And then Kafka is asking, is there a way to do this without looping over every entry in the magazine? We could, right? We could. Let mut count equals 0, count plus equals 1, count minus equals 1, if count equals 0, return true. That also passes. So as soon as we found every entry in the ransom note, we're done. Which means we can just say false here. Boom. All right, let's try this. Let's see if this is faster. What was my solution? It was 13 milliseconds. Let's put this in here. We shaved a millisecond off. But again, we can't really... If this went to like 2 or 1, then I think it would be more obvious. Yeah. So this is an alternate solution. Does it save both? Let me look. Yeah, so this was the first version, right? It saved it as that accepted version, and I can click this one and see the new version we came up with. Yeah. All right. I like both of them. That's pretty nice. Nice. There we go.